Boogety Boogety Boogety, JB. We are back.
We are back.
Episode 14, I want to say.
Is it 14?
I think so. We'll kind of
double check later.
It's been a long week, so we'll give ourselves a pass on if we've forgotten and missed up the number. But nonetheless, it was a jam-packed weekend, JB. Our second weekend at the racetrack. We were at the Grand Prix a couple weeks ago we talked about, but we just got back from a NASCAR weekend down at MIS. We were there Saturday all day Sunday.
Yep.
Got to take in the Craftsman Truck Series race with Stuart Friesen, Ontario, Canada native, bringing home the win here in Michigan, pretty close to where he's from. And then also on Sunday, it was for the third time this year. Very fitting, too, because you're wearing a number 3 hat right now, JB.
Three times.
Was Mr. Denny Hamlin.
I beat all your favorite drivers.
Taking home the win. And very fun race, very exciting, a lot of action going on. And like I said, I mean, overall, obviously we'll dive into the racing, JB, but I'm curious just to hear about like the weekend from your perspective.
It was a fun weekend. Like I said, this was my first time actually attending a live like NASCAR race and Truck Series race as well too. But for me, it was just completely eye-opening and exciting. Like just to see the amount of people who were in the stands on Saturday versus Sunday. Obviously, you can tell Sunday was like a little bit better. The stands were more filled out, but still Saturday they showed out as well too. And Saturday they put on one hell of a race with the triple overtimes that they had in the Truck Series. Like it just kept going and going and going, and like you're hanging on your edge of your seats those last like couple laps because you don't know what could happen again. Once again, you don't know if there could be another wreck. You don't know if we could keep this thing going or you know what, we actually get a winner. But it was fun, it was exciting, and then Sunday just topped off everything. Like I feel like Sunday, if you wanted to go to a NASCAR event, you needed to be there and up at probably like 5-6 a.m. Shout out to all the people who were there camping and everything like that, because I guarantee you they probably didn't sleep. They were probably partying all night, and once they got up, like everything was just up and open and ready to roll. And there was so many things to do there with interviews, music, concerts. I mean, it was endless, but I had an amazing time, man. What about you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was a phenomenal experience. I don't think I'd been back to the track since 6th grade.
6th grade?
Yeah, it's crazy. I've talked about it a couple of times. March is reading month, and I believe in 6th grade, if we met our reading goal, we got to go to MIS for a day at the track, and I don't think I'd been back since. Oh, I take that back. My freshman year of high school, there was we were there for the state championship cross country meet. But I had not been back to the race. I hadn't been on the track really in so long, and or in the infield and anything, and it was so much fun being back, and it was such an exciting time. Like you said, Saturday for the truck race, we were walking around. We got to see just like a few of the drivers as we were walking into the pits and garages. They just happened to be casually walking by, seeing their team with the oil cans, the gas cans, all of like the. You're looking in the garage, you can see all the cars like so up close and personal. I mean, obviously we have like the car of the week that we love doing. They look so much cooler when they're right there in front of you. It's like, they're all my car of the week.
So much better. Like just knowing that this car that you were a fan of is just sitting right there. And like you can reach out and touch it, but you can't touch it. You can't touch it. No.
Yeah, no, don't touch cars.
Don't touch cars.
But yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was fantastic. Like it's so cool just to see them all like up close and in person, and even the drivers as well. It's obviously you see them on TV. Then they get to you even get like the brief interactions with them and like the media bullpens or in their press conferences and stuff like that. Like it's so much fun. Just getting that chance to ask that question. From your perspective, just to hear like the driver directly.
Like Ty Dillon was like right there, like just right there.
Yeah, dude. Everybody was like right there. It was so cool.
Right there, like he was like a hand reach away. Like
speaking of Ty Dillon, man, he ended up running over that squirrel on Sunday. We were hanging out. It was near the end of stage 2. I was gonna say, so
you gotta tell them the story because people don't really know.
It was near the end of stage 2. We're on top of the pit boxes, and we're pretty close to where the Amazon Prime team is getting ready to cover the stage 2 break, leading up into the final stage of the race. And we're all looking around, and all of a sudden somebody yells "squirrel," and everybody's peeking over the pit box, and all of a sudden you just see this little squirrel running around. And I believe it was Corey LaJoy who just starts giggling and is like mentioning like, there's no trees anywhere around here. And I heard you told me the story yesterday, GB. At some point, that squirrel made it from the back wall, like where the pit boxes are, to the pit wall. Actually, over the pit wall into the
Yep.
pit boxes and then eventually under the tires
Of one Mr.
of Ty
Dillon.
Dillon. He was driving the number 10
It's
Seabest. Okay?
it's not funny, but it is funny at the same time, just because one, where did this squirrel come from? As you said, there's not a tree for like miles, and
Yeah, anywhere within the
you're-
track. Obviously, outside of the track, there's some trees and whatnot. But
yeah, you're
I
just
mean,
like, what
it
are
was
you doing
crazy.
here?
It was so interesting, wondering where it came from. Obviously, we won't know where it went, but nonetheless, I mean, like going back to Saturday really quick, JB. Like the race ending was so exciting. You talked about the triple overtime. They went green, white, checkered to finish. On the restart, they didn't even barely get across the start-finish line. Someone spins out Ross Chastain, who's leading in the outside lane. The whole front of the pack gets tore up.
And we were right there and we saw it.
Yeah, and then they go into the, they bring out the caution flag. People go into the pits. They're trying to fix up their car. They're like, we're going to run it in. Green, white, checkered to the finish, overtime finish, and they don't even get one lap around the track. There's another crash.
Nope.
And so they line them up again. And they're rolling and they're riding, and then they get all the way around turns 1. They get through turn 2. They're down the backstretch. They're coming into turn 3. And then I don't remember which driver, but he just loses a tire, I'm pretty sure, and goes right up the wall into the wall of turn 3 and brings out another caution flag. We go to a third overtime, and third time's the charm. They were luckily able to get a finish. It was Stuart Friesen stealing the win. I mean, I don't want to say he stole the win, but it was a hard-fought race. Everybody's
Yeah, it
fighting
was
and
definitely a
competing.
hard-fought
but
race.
Yeah, Stuart Friesen getting the win, and then Sunday, as we talked about, Denny Hamlin getting the win. It was hard-fought. Carson Hocevar, he's been running so well as of late, JB. Obviously, the Coke 600 led several laps up near the front row stage in the final stage, stage 4. Engine blows up. Go back next week, Nashville, P2, gets a good finish. He's running hot. He's running fast. He's in the front of the pack. He takes the lead late, and all of a sudden he blew a tire at Michigan. He was going to be low on gas as well. They kind of needed a bit of a caution break, but nonetheless, I mean, he's been up there. He's been fast, and you gotta assume, JB, he's going to be getting that first win sometime soon, right?
Going to be getting that first win. Just as how aggressive and how fast he drives. Like, it's not aggressive in a bad way, but at the same time, he is putting himself out there a lot more, and you can tell that he is fighting at every single turn. And it's just something you like to see, especially from a guy like him. He's young in the sport. He's an up-and-comer. He's trying to definitely make a name and a presence for himself on the track.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think his personality has definitely captivated a lot of people in the sport, especially the media. Everyone, like, there's a lot of questions asked about Carson Hocevar to other drivers over the course of the weekend. And, for the most part, everybody has a lot of really positive things to say about it. They talk about he's an aggressive driver. If that's how he wants to run, he may have having to deal with that.
You might have to
those
deal with some fights here and there.
You might have to deal with some ramifications of that. On the track, off the track, whether whatever it may be. But there's no one denies his raw talent and ability behind the wheel of a race car. They always talk about how good of a driver he is and how he is a future superstar in the sport. That's the word that they choose to use, is superstar, not just a star or a great driver, but a superstar.
Is fair.
And it's fantastic to see, not only as a young driver, and for other race fans to hopefully get drawn and bring him back into the sport. But he's also from Michigan, JB, Portage, Michigan, down near Kalamazoo.
Shout out.
It's very cool to see. We have Brad Keselowski, who's getting up there in age. He's now an owner driver with RFK Racing, and the whole RFK team. They went top 10 with a P2, P9, P10 for the team. So shout out to them.
Very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's awesome to see like the local drivers, the local teams, even like Stuart Friesen, like I said, we're right across the border. We're the only point in the United States, JB, where you have to travel south to get into Canada. To our friends
the more you know.
To our friends south of the border, here in Detroit, hats off to Stuart Friesen, from the Ontario, Canada native, for that win. Like I said, another close win for him. He had a lot of family and friends out for that race. And his first win in, I think, a couple years since that. I think I want to say 22 or 23 at Texas. I don't remember the exact year, but it'd been a little bit he talked about, and felt good getting back in victory lane. But JB, you want to talk more about some of the race? I know we got to be in the pits, going up and down with these cars, looking at them. We got some really cool photos, some really clean shots for Car of the Week this week, and I'm wondering, are you ready to want to dive into those? and see.
We definitely can. Obviously, you know, with us getting the media credentials once again, thank you NASCAR for having us out there.
Thank you very much to
go ahead.
I was saying thank you to Josh and Stephanie
Yes,
from
Josh,
NASCAR,
Stephanie,
you know,
thank
allowing
you
us
so much.
to our presence there. It was a very fantastic time. You know, we look forward to hopefully being allowed back to any future events. But it was a fantastic experience. We look forward to like sharing that with you know everyone who enjoys Fast and Loose, and hopefully we were able to reach some new audience as well. You know, from the coverage we were able to take in at MIS. So
yeah, definitely. But like I was saying, obviously for us it was a little bit different than for the fans, but still at the same time they tried to get the fans involved as well too. On Sunday with the driver's introduction, how they were all kind of like crowded over by the stage as well, and just taking pictures, having fun. And then, you know, with us, we got to be on pit row, we got to be where the pit crew is, got to interact with them a little bit as well too, ask some questions. You got an amazing video of just the guys just hanging out over there, just playing basketball.
Sneak peek, gonna be working on it. I was just walking up and down, you know, in the pits, and noticed a couple of the guys on AJ Allmendinger's number 16 pit crew.
Shout out.
Had trash can and a little tape ball, and they were just tossing it from the pit wall, trying to make it into the trash can. And then it was shout out Cap Houston. We'll have the video out either later today or sometime tomorrow, fully edited and ready to rock and roll. And he comes over, and we're not going to spoil the surprise, but you can probably assume what happened. So shout out.
We'll check out the video later.
Shout out Cap Houston from Team Trackhouse, let's say. And looking forward to his pleasure meeting him, and then hanging out with those guys, just kind of sitting off to the side. Stood there for about 15-20 minutes, just like recording, just like hoping and praying that it'd go in, and eventually it did. So it was awesome.
Eventually you're gonna hit one. But like I was saying as well too, it's a different experience for us than the fans, but we're just so appreciative because we got to be up close with a lot of these teams and a lot of the drivers that came back for the media scrum that they had, where it was just like a bullpen of drivers you could just go up to and talk to and chat it up with, which was the most fun I've had. You didn't want to fan out too much. You wanted to be professional as well, but it was just like, hey, these guys are literally right in front of your face, and like they're just cool. They're chill. They're just laid back and relaxed people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, once you kind of get over the initial shock, at least for like myself, being the first time doing one of these like credentialed media coverages, but
Wallace was like right behind
me.
Like once you get right behind me, like
once you get over that initial shock, though, you do realize like, it's just like this is just like talking to any other person, and it's no different than like just meeting somebody randomly, in line at the grocery store and just having a quick conversation. So yeah, absolutely. So very cool, very awesome, and I mean, I've talked about it as well, like multiple times across several like different platforms here at Woodward, like whether it's here on Fast and Loose or across any of the other shows. Like NASCAR is so inclusive, they're so welcoming and warm, and I think that was definitely the case in all of these interactions that we had with fans, with drivers, with employees at the track. Everybody was so friendly and accommodating and helpful. It's such an amazing atmosphere, and like you said earlier too, like it's so much fun being at the track. And if you do get to go, obviously, like if you only get to go for a little bit and for the race, you will be itching
to go back again
and spend the whole weekend there, because being in the infield, which is something we didn't really venture off into outside of like being in the pits and stuff, JB, but in the pit, in the infield, in the campgrounds, like around the track, like people get after it. It's so much fun, and it's you said it's like people are out so early, and I'm like, JB, this is like college football tailgating, but like over a whole weekend. And some of these people are like almost SEC level tailgaters, where they're bringing out the bus with like a school bus with like a platform on top to party.
It gets crazy at night. I've only seen videos of some things that go down at night or overnight at some of these racing events, but still at the same time, like it looks fun. Like you want to be a part of it.
Oh yeah, it's a party atmosphere, and that's not just here at Michigan, but that's at other tracks all over. I mean, Talladega has I think it's known for like the biggest, I'm down there in Alabama, but I mean I think it's like I said, if you're only able to make it to the track for a race, you're definitely going to want to go back for the whole weekend and camp out or stay near the track if you can, and it's so much fun.
It's like right now I'm itching to go back again. Like I wish there was another race this weekend up at MIS that we could go to.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I can't wait till we get to go to the figure 8 bus races, or we look at the schedule and just see some other speedways around here and just finding a race weekend to go check out. I mean, I've been looking at the NASCAR schedule. Like, is there anything close enough to maybe try to drive to, or at any point in this schedule?
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see. It's so much fun. Like, just as a spectator and someone who loves the sport, it's so awesome to see and be there, and hopefully like share that with other people to at least, if maybe just give it a shot. Like when you're walking down the aisle at Sam's Club and you're like, you know what, I don't think I'm ever gonna buy this, but I'm still gonna try the one sample just to know for sure. If that's if you haven't checked out NASCAR before and you're not sure it's for you, at least just give it that one little taste.
Give it a try.
Give it a little, because you might surprise yourself. It is a little infectious how much fun you can have.
Exactly.
Enjoying the track, enjoying the environment, especially when you're actually at the track, in the atmosphere, just in the thick of it. So. But speaking of in the thick of it, JB, when we were going down the pits, I had a hard time, picking out a favorite car. They all looked so cool, especially like when you're like I said, as close as we are almost to like the diecast we have in front of us right now. But I definitely want to let you go first, because I'm still racking my brain on a couple of them. But I'm very excited to hear who made your car of the week rankings this week for MIS.
I gotta find my top one on here, but I do have my my runner up and my third place. Number 3, he took home the win over the weekend. Mr. 11 in the Yahoo purple and white car, which actually had Yahoo going around the back of it. Like, so the O's just continued on around the back of the car. I thought that was so cool and unique and just dope. Shout out to Denny Hamlin for that. Whoever put the paint scheme together for that, for the team, is amazing. Coming in second, number 1, Ross Chastain in the Bapple Bush Light Apple car that was driving around. The red pops, especially with the apples on there. It looks so unique. It's so different. Still got the jockey logo on there as well too, but I just thought that one was cool. And then finally, my number 1, if I could find it, where are you? It's the Kroger Heinz, the Chris Buescher. Number 17, the Heinz Flavor Tour. Like, they just keep impressing week to week. With their color schemes, man. And this one, once again, tops it off as well too. It's purple. It's got the little gold, silver, black mixed in with the numbers and the lettering as well too. And it's got I think that's Heinz ketchup or Heinz barbecue sauce on there as well too. But it was perfect. Yeah, I mean, shout out. We got to talk to Chris Buescher. I mean, obviously he's the guy who kind of started Car of the Week for us as far as like our inspiration. We told him, when that was. We told him the Dasani car that kind of just, there's a light bulb clicking in our head. Like, we got to talk about how cool these cars are each week. And like, obviously this is the coolest one this week. And we told him how just like each week with Kroger being like the main sponsor, but mixing in all the different products that they have in the store, and the chrome numbers and like the silver, and then mixing in the other chrome styled like coloring with the numbers. It always looks so clean, so silky. He definitely seemed to appreciate that. He talked about how much, he said Bossman Brad was, taking a look in really hard about the fine details, and he told us, hey, like he definitely would appreciate hearing that. So when he's like, ask him about that or say something to him, and we asked him about it, and he said, he's like, well, I drove a lot of ugly race cars in my day, and I just got sick of doing it. And once I had one hell of an answer, by the way. So, and he's like, once I had some say in the matter and I got to choose, he's like, I was gonna, and as we talked about the great team that they have there, the designers, the people, the sponsors, obviously, that they get to work with. So I mean, an amazing guy, Chris Buescher. He was at the Kroger in my hometown of Jackson. I told him I stood in that line many years ago as a kid when Bobby Labonte was driving the number 19 banquet car, got a die cast waiting in that line, and we didn't get the signature because he ran out of time. But nonetheless, I mean, it's just so much like memory and nostalgia like wrapped up in MIS, in Jackson, in NASCAR with like all these different drivers. I mean, we got Terry Labonte on the desk right here right now, but shout out. Yeah, I mean, it's so fantastic. Chris Buescher, an amazing person, from like the interactions we got to experience with him, and also got that P2 finish as well. So very nice car. I think he won stage 1, got the finish second in stage 3. So very good race for him. But I will start diving into my cars of the week. I've been your cars of the week, man. I did, when we were talking to Chris Buescher, I did kind of tell him a little bit as well. His teammate, my first honorable mention, Ryan Preece, the number 60 car, that Castrol
Castrol Ford motor oil. It looked good, and I also like I've been seeing these cool videos. It was Chris Buescher and Ryan Preece on RFK's Instagram. They made the really cool, funny video where Chris Buescher was giving him a lesson in like Castrol and and like how like what as a sponsor and all this and that. It's really funny. I've seen something similar that Ryan Preece did with Daniel Suarez as like a Spanish lesson for when they went down to Mexico and stuff, and it was really cool, really funny. Obviously, like the red chrome on the 60 looks really cool. The green, the white, the red. It's a very good looking, cool car. And like I said, you've talked about green being your favorite color. It's definitely up there for me. I really like a nice looking green. So that's going to be my third honorable mention for the week. My second honorable mention for this weekend, I want to give a shout out to Michigan native Carson Hocevar. He had the Ziegler Automotive Group car, but it was, instead of like the normal black and yellow, it was gold.
Gold, yeah, it was gold.
And for a moment, it looked like he was going to be that golden boy. He was going to get that gold medal finish to go with that gold color finish on the car. But like I said, little over, I can't remember, like maybe 17 or so laps to go. I might be off on that, but he loses the tire, was getting low on gas. Bit of a bummer, but he had to hit the pits and didn't quite get the finish that he was looking for. But my number one car of the week, JB, you're gonna call me
hard
biased.
choices.
It is a hard choice, and you're gonna call me biased when we see the car, but it has all to do with the interactions with the team. And although it was a different, actually, you know what? I'm gonna scroll up. Yeah. Honorable mention to AJ Allmendinger's 16. I say it was the Allmendinger guys who were shooting the hoops, making it. But the car of the week has to go to my guy, the team of my guy Cap Houston, who made the shot. Team Trackhouse. I don't know if you saw this car, JB. Daniel Suarez, the number 19 jockey.
The jockey
he
car,
has like a naked guy in the car. Like
that's supposed to be him.
Yeah, it's like painted on there. It's just a dude in his underwear, and like he has like the. Like it just, like the neck ends where car window is, so you just see his head sticking out with the helmet, and it looks so cool. It's pretty funny looking. It's just it's a plain white look, but with the hard black 99, the Trackhouse font. It looks pretty cool.
It's
and like
a unique twist on it. Yeah.
And like, call me biased. Like I said, like obviously, obviously Chris Buescher's up there on my list as well. With the interactions we had from him, you're giving him all the love. I want to show some love to our other guy. Like I said, I stood there for 15-20 minutes just waiting and hoping and praying. They said, hey, eventually, like, you get it, it's going to be worth it. They weren't wrong. I mean, Kirby Joseph came over and took a couple of shots.
Shout out to Kirby Joseph. He was there.
A couple other people just kind of like walking by, other crew members of other teams say, well, let me take a shot, and fun time, man. But shout out to the number 99 Daniel Suarez Trackhouse team. Their tire carrier and content creator, Cap Houston. Pleasure meeting you. Also, JB, I want to shout out a couple of these trucks as well.
One you fell in love with, man.
Yeah,
that
right
coach car, the coach truck, I should say.
Yeah, it was the Tony Breedinger drove in the number 5 Coach Toyota. It was right in front of us. It just looked really cool. But there was actually a driver in the truck race and in the ARCA Menards race on Friday evening from my hometown, or like my high school, alumni of Grass Lake High School. Morgan Baird, I graduated with his youngest. Shout out Grass Lake. Go Warriors, baby. Fear the spear. But I graduated with his youngest brother, Hunter. We actually walked side by side through the gymnasium on graduation when they announced our names and whatnot.
That's cool, man.
It was his oldest brother who was racing in the ARCA Menards series and in the Craftsman Truck Series on Friday. Ended up getting in an accident on Saturday along with just about everybody else on the field. But he ended up didn't get to finish the race, but nonetheless, very cool, awesome to see. I mean, Grass Lake, small community. We were the class of 2016 was nearly the first ever triple-digit graduating class in the history of the school. So like everyone else, like 99 or fewer. They never had a graduating class of over 100 students. And we were nearly the first. We didn't quite make that mark. A couple people left, didn't graduate here, there, nonetheless. But they might have hit that now. But again, like a small school, not a lot of people really were like pumping out of there. In previous years and whatnot. So it's awesome to see, like, the community and other people like from the area that succeed. Shout out like Chad Decker as well. A couple months back, he's another Grass Lake alumni who is mixed martial arts fighter. Was at the Motor City Casino soundboard.
Hey.
It's, like I said, really cool to see just the local people like driving and succeeding. Obviously, like it's a big deal. Like going from the ARCA Menard series and getting into the Craftsman Truck Series, and maybe one day we'll get to see him driving an Xfinity car or up in the Cup Series. He's we met a couple people from the Sit Pat, the Jackson Citizen Patriot, when we were in the media room, and he was talking about he's been hearing about him and writing stories about him since he was a kid, riding go-karts and stuff like that. So really cool to see. Wanted to shout that out. But then also JB, obviously there was a lot of crashing this weekend.
Well, obviously, yeah.
So and there's some bit of passing and a lot of gas. So you want to dive into that gas, pass, and crash for us?
Yeah, you want to start this one off?
I will, absolutely. I will. I'm gonna give the gas. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do it backwards, JB. I want to start with my crash. I want to start with my crash because that's when the crash isn't going to anybody in the Cup Series. The crash is just going to Saturday at the Craftsman Truck Race.
Actually.
Like I said, we talked about it. Triple overtime. There was a wreck. I'm hate on me, JB. I'm doubling down. I'm also giving the crash to Alex Bowman because he hit the wall hard. They went the red. I'm sorry. It came in my head right then and there. I saw the 48, and I was just like,
damn it.
But bro, man, they went red flag for it. I think they might have went, I think just the one time. But yeah, they went to a red flag. When you saw him hit the wall, it was like, jeez. And then we went into the back. We were in the pits, and we saw we just staring at the car they're working on. All of a sudden, you just see Alex Bowman walk up, and it's like, oh crap, there he is. And he just, he looked okay. He obviously talked about it hit hard, hardest hit of his career, or one of them. But he said he seemed to be okay, and just hoping not to have to hit, hoping not to hit the wall that hard again, or really at all. But sometimes it happens in racing, and so. Like I said, we'll keep going in reverse, JB. I'm going to give my pass to Denny Hamlin.
Really? Okay.
He made the pass late. He conserved enough fuel, too. That was another thing. He made the pass to get by William Byron, to get by also Carson Hocevar, who he was chasing down. Obviously, get past him with the tire, but was able just to, get by everybody and make the pass and save enough fuel late in the race to get the win eventually. And obviously he didn't have a lot of fuel left because they had to tow his car or push his car down the way, and ran out of gas down in near turn 3 where he was doing the burnout in front of the fans of his who had the bus with the 11 flag on it and stuff. But I'm, like I said, giving the pass to Denny Hamlin, making the right passes at the right time, with saving enough fuel to get the win. And then my gas for the weekend, I'm a little torn up, JB. I don't really know who to give the gas to. Give me a quick second, JB, if you can kind of help me fill some time.
Yeah, I got you. Like I said, it was a lot.
Who is getting the gas. I just want to look up their name because I didn't get their last name.
It was a lot going on over the weekend. We got to interact with a lot of people. So shout out to everyone who was there, drivers, crew members, even the people working the events. There was a lot of people working the events, and they were putting in their hard work and time over the weekend to help out, whether that's their volunteers or employees of MIS. But shout out to you for just being there. I know it was hot out. Some of you guys didn't get shaded areas to sit or to stand in, but you guys were out there putting in some hard work, and I appreciate you.
But all right, well, as I'm still trying to find the name, I want to give my gas to the gas man for Mr. Brad Keselowski. We were just walking up and down, JB, looking through the cars in the pits and stuff like that. He's moving the fuel cans. Stuff like that. I just happened to walk by and say, hey, how much does one of those cans happen to weigh? Approximately when it's full. And he's about 95 pounds. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, what's the empty canister weight? He says about I think he said 25 roughly. So they're putting 70 pounds of fuel in there, and he says he talks about he just our quick couple questions, didn't just casually off the record and everything, just genuine curious and real friendly. He was kind of letting us know sometimes it's tough because you gotta, it's sloshing around too, the liquid, so you really gotta have good balance, and you gotta be quick with it. Sometimes they're waiting on you with the fuel and stuff like that because they're able to get the tires changed so quick. So I feel bad right now. I can't remember his name. We will figure it out and get it added in here for this episode. But the gas man for Brad Keselowski's number 6.
Okay.
I want to shout them out. Got to see a cool video of them from RFK where they were like, fueling up the car. So that'll be my my gas patch crash, and I'll let you take over, JB.
Nice. Well, actually, I'll start from the back end like you did, and I'm gonna steal one from you actually for crash. All the crashes over the weekend. Shout out to Alex Bowman and Roger Caruth, because on Saturday he did not end up did not finish with his crash that was going on. So shout out to all the crashes. My pass has to go to Carson Hocevar.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing, but he just had some bad luck on Sunday with, the tires just running out on him. I know he was probably low on fuel as well too, but it just sucks because I think with like 20 laps to go, we were like, Chase, JB, like, he could actually do this. He could win this race. Like, he could win here in Michigan. Like, come on.
Yeah, it would have been electric. That post-race press conference would have been awesome.
I'm telling you. And then my gas, I'm going to be a little bit biased on this one. Our first day when we were in the media room, when you told me to look behind you, and Bubba Wallace was right there. So I'm a little biased on this one. I got to give a shout out to Bubba Wallace because he was literally sitting right behind me and literally looked at me and acknowledged me. So I was just like, oh my God.
Oh, I feel bad now too. Yeah, I mean, we're sitting there. Ryan Blaney comes in. He's sitting for a press conference. We're asking questions. I raise my hand. I'm just like, just like my name, publication is like, hey, Chase Hamlin, Fast and Loose Woodward Sports. And he's like, he stops. He's like, your name's Chase Elliott. And I was like, yes, sir. First, it's my middle name, spelled the same way. And he's like, that's so cool. And then, answers the question. And then he, as he's walking by, just getting ready to go qualify and practice, just say, hey, good luck. And he just kind of does a quick double thing. He's like, thanks, Chase. And I thought that was so cool.
Like, he remembered. Like,
yeah,
so cool.
And it's known that he's good friends with, Bubba Wallace and Chase Elliott, like outside of like the track and stuff like that. So really cool. And then Chase Elliott, we're sitting there talking to Tyler Reddick, I think it was us. We're sitting there in the bullpen, got the mic out, listening to Tyler Reddick answering questions, I should say. And all of a sudden, they're announced like Chase Elliott walks in. Again, like, that is my name. I just heard, and I thought I was in trouble. Like, no one really calls me Chase Elliott, like, unless I'm like with my dad's side of the family, or I'm and I'm like getting in trouble. Like, I don't really get in trouble, so it's strange. But like, I like my middle name. I like my name, but it's just like I told him, like, we walked over and I was just like. It was just like a John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt situation, like his name is my name too, and I just was like. I told him I don't have a question for you. Like, that's just,
I just want to tell you you're cool.
Yeah, we have the same name. Just spelled the same way. And he was just like, oh, really? That's cool. I was like, yeah, I mean, I'll show you my ID if you really don't believe me.
He was like, no, I
believe you. But I was just like, oh, it's so funny. It's so interesting and really cool. Obviously, yeah, like we're getting all of our equipment out to like go and kind of walk around the room to the bullpen. All of a sudden, I just like look behind you and like Bubba Wallace plops down. I'm just like, JB, look behind you. And as you turn around, he just kind of like leans back and he's like, hey, bro, look behind you. So wholesome, so cool. And
I was so red. I'm gonna tell you right now, like blushing like crazy.
So very cool, very awesome experience. Obviously, like I could talk about the whole race weekend like for hours. And I mean,
man.
Maybe JB, we could talk about it off there. Maybe we try to sneak in a little extra, like 10 or 15 minutes of a bonus episode of Fast and Loose this week or something.
Yeah.
Maybe we keep it loose on the lounge or something like that for a fast episode.
Okay.
But nonetheless, man, it was so much fun. So grateful to be there, rocking some of the merch. Honestly, if I was a millionaire, JB, I would have bought out the whole track.
We would have bought every single thing in those merch trailers.
I'm telling you,
cool
things. So many cool things. I'm rocking the MIS shirt. Got this NASCAR hat.
And you can't forget about the Intimidator.
He's rocking the Intimidator. JB on the 3 gang. I got myself. Obviously, I talked about this a while ago. I just randomly walk into the studio one day and I'm like, JB, I've been looking on like eBay and blah blah blah. I really want to like just get one of these little diecast number 3 cars to start carrying around in my pocket. And as if like JB has some secret camera and microphone to follow me around like I'm Truman from the Truman Show or something, he just happens to pull out of his backpack this number 3 right here, the Sundrop Dale Jr. Late model throwback from the All-Star race a few years ago. And he's just like, well, let me give you this right here. And I thought it was so insane, so kind, so generous. And then obviously, like, we're at the track. They have the the classics like NASCAR vintage trailer,
The legacy trailer.
We got to grab. I got myself the number 3 Dale Senior diecast as well. We've got 2 of them. One to keep in the box. It's up on display on the shelf as well.
Always got to get 2.
Yeah, and then got one to open up, carry around in my pocket, rocking the father and the son in the pockets as always. And then JB, it's cool to have you part of the gang. You know, rocking the Intimidator.
3
'Cause
gang.
We're always showing our love to Mr. Dale Earnhardt Senior. The person who obviously like has like just influenced me so much as like a fan of NASCAR.
And we got to see Dale Jr. as well too, hopping off the Amazon Prime broadcast.
Did briefly see him walk by. It was super cool, man. Awesome time. Like I said, I'm gonna keep rambling, but we'll try to wrap it up here. Appreciate you guys tapping in. Appreciate once again for the NASCAR team, to Josh, to Stephanie, everyone else down there.
Thank you guys.
Who we met,
once again,
the drivers, the staff. It was an amazing experience, and like we very much look forward to hopefully being able to come back to any future events. NASCAR is such a fun sport, and we love to be able to share that with everyone who wants to listen, or even if they don't want to listen, but we have them for 5 minutes. We have their attention for 5 minutes. We're just going to talk to them about how cool it is. So,
obviously.
Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.